Now let's see what we can talk about things. We can talk about physical characteristics and traits like shape, size, color, texture, matter of it, these things. And what's its function or purpose? For example, what's the significance of that thing? History and origin also, if you know about it, otherwise there is no issue. And then we can talk about the condition or quality. You can comment on the whether it's new, well maintained or damaged. These things we can definitely talk about. And we can compare also, we can give some contrast comparison also. I have given an example here. You can see the way I have done it, you can also do. See the example of describing things. Antique clock. This antique clock is very old and pretty. It is made of wood and has design on it. Even though it's old, it still works. My grandfather has given it. I'm not sure how old it is. Isn't it fascinating how it still works after all this time? The kind of sentences and examples I have used, there could be many others, and now you can think about it and you can use your own. You can just think about one thing or person and you practice. Okay, now let's see how we can describe any situation. What are the situations? Sometimes situation could be bad or good. For example, if there is an earthquake, when we talk about earthquake, it's going to be, we are going to share our experiences, right? So the introduction is the earthquake, its time, when it happened, and then where it happened. These things you can talk about, and then you can say that the extent of it and the people who get affected by it. Those all things you can talk about. I have taken example of earthquake, and there could be defined head under which you can talk about. For example, we can talk about environmental detail, just like location, time, weather, atmosphere, as I just said. And then the activities and event, we can explain the happening in the situations, conflicts, etc. And we can convey the mood or emotion of the situation, whether it is joyful, tense or chaotic. We can talk about those all things. And then participant reactions also, we can talk about the participant reaction also, how people are involved in situation and are reacting and feeling. These things we can talk, and its social cultural context also we can talk about. And that's how we can explain situations. And it must include introduction and a proper flow, and you must have variety of sentences here, and then you should conclude. Now let's see how we can describe any action. Cooking could be example of one action. You must have seen Donkey where Tapsi Pannu is talking about how she makes aloo paratha. So she's trying to start with what happens first, and then she make a perfect aloo paratha. You can see example of one action here, cooking aloo paratha. I have taken this example because people can relate to it. It was an example in recent movie Donkey. So you can see how I started and what was the flow and how I ended it. You can just see here. Let's summarize these all pointers. Any description should start with a proper introduction. At the same time, you have to remind yourself once again that practicing eye for detail or improving your observation skills will give you the content, not just vocab. Okay, you will have to remember this thing. It's very important to remember. What you have to develop eye for detail. If you're talking about situation, you must have eye for situation, what you can look for, those all information. If you're talking about a person or a thing or a place or some action, you should think about it. You should try to find out the details. So I should start with the introduction. We will talk about what it is. There will be a flow, and we will be utilizing all types of sentences, affirmative, negative, interrogative sentences. Try to bring variety of sentences here. If you will keep talking affirmative sentences, you will just lose your content, because everything cannot be only positive. There could be some shortcoming or weakness in any situation or with anybody. Okay, and then you can go for concluding it with a proper note, and then you can ask for the feedback also. That's how you describe something, some person, some place, some action. So see you in my next video. Let me know your feedback in the comment box. Thanks for watching. If you like our content, please subscribe and support us.